Medical bay. Gasoline barrels. Got a big signal light. Now that, I want to bet, had something to do with radar.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I just think it's funny, there's only 4 of these that were built to this class. That's just funny, it was bigger, heavier, and faster than your typical destroyer. That's funny.
And they put, yeah, you can see where they used to put these guns on it.
Those? No, this is on the rear end of the ship.
Oh, yeah, this rear end of the ship.
I know it had
one down the rear though.
It might have had one in the rear, but I don't know. I haven't. I've seen the picture. Well, no, I know I've seen the pictures because it was armed at one point with either 4 or 5 5-inch guns. It was just like holy shit.
Oh yeah, no, this is big right here.
More gasoline storage. So this is just the stern.
Oh man.
No, I'm gonna take a walk around the superstructure, then I'm gonna head on in. Woo. Fuel oil vent. Well, never mind. I guess I can't go that way. You're not allowed to go that way. To ensure your safety, please turn and face all ladders. Adults should go down ladders ahead of children. Please watch your step.
Into it yet, or?
No, that's the only way you can go because you can't go that way.
Okay.
They got it roped off.
Away we go.
Attention. To ensure your safety, please turn and face all ladders. Adults should go down ladders before children. Please watch your steps as you move about the ship. Thank you for your cooperation and have a safe visit.
Oh, that smell.
Oh yeah. Reminds me of Lexington.
Mm-hmm. Lexington, Texas. So that's where that diesel exhaust went. This space may contain dangerous gases. Oh, don't go in there. Let's see here. Some cabins and berthing areas in here. U.S. Coast Guard. Ensign Reynolds and Lieutenant Junior Grade Merrill. Had all your gas masks, oxygen breathing apparatus, the OBA.
Kind of interesting that they keep true to the Coast Guard configuration.
Standard firefighting equipment about. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know something like that existed back in all the way to the 90s. No kidding. First Lieutenant's stateroom. Oh yeah, I got a big old can of Mr. Pibb in there.
I love how we got
WEC 37.
I always love seeing facial hair within the Navy or Coast Guard because like you got this guy right here who's the executive officer, the XO, sporting a very nice beard.
Let's pass staterooms for the Taney's officers. And 14 commissioned officers, 4 warrant officers. So those are your warrant officer cabins. Number of officers is increased considerably in this ship. You know, right there with more bunks. Taney's got not occupied with statement had his own separate living quarters. Knows the cabin immediately below the ship's bridge, so he's that way. Yeah, you got that 1970s look going.
Oh yeah.
Lieutenant Carl Smith in 1984. Operation Officer Stateroom. Yeah, see, he got a big old.
Mr. Pibb, right?
Yeah, he's got a big old can of Mr. Pibb and a boombox.
I know, right? See little things.
Lieutenant Riggs. Sewage goes that way. I see a very beautiful ship. Gleaming white paint, polished bronze and brass, spotless teak deck. She looks more like an armed yacht than a warship. Yeah, there you go. I said, year 44 painted battleship grand supporting 4 5-inch gun mounts. She looked more like a destroyer escort than a Coast Guard cutter. And she was also a command vessel at the Battle of Okinawa, and shot down a fair number of kamikaze planes.
Yeah, no, I was reading that part. Really liked it.
It says stripped most of her heavy weapons at war's end, painted peacetime white. Long and varied career, a minor role in the combat mission in Vietnam. More interesting new features was a large dome for an ocean station weather radar mount. The dome came and went in the mid-70s. It's a very beautiful ship.
Yeah, this is an interesting record because I didn't get to see combat records.
She was rocking some serious firepower.
Yeah, I know. It almost looks
Like-
goofy a little bit if you think about it.
I mean, like that. I mean, that's what it was beforehand. I mean, it was it had one single gun up there, and that was kind of it. And a couple of 50 cals. She 41 to 43. They upgraded her just a little bit.
So we can get AA guns.
Yep. And then, like I said, it was all of a sudden, it was like, holy shit, you're ready to just kick everyone's ass.
Oh, that's interesting. Tied up to Pier 6 in Honolulu.
I'm just thinking like this. I said, you imagine this, this little lightweight little ship turning all 4 of those, just giving something a broadside.
Oh yeah, no. I imagine well, I don't know, the way the ship was built, it probably could handle firing all 4 guns without rocking it too much.
It was attacked by a formation of 20 German torpedo planes. Taney directed the defense of the convoy near dodging 2 German torpedoes. And 45. After months of convoy duty, Taney was ordered to Boston for another refit. Let's see, off Okinawa, Taney braved frequent Japanese kamikaze attacks and was credited with downing 5 enemy planes. Wakayama, Japan, to help evacuate Allied prisoners from Japanese POW camps. In the Korean War, Taney once again received anti-submarine weapons. Known as the Queen of the Pacific, Taney was the largest Coast Guard cutter assigned to the West Coast until the 378-foot cutters were launched in the mid-60s.
Interesting.
Well, this ship is 350-something feet long. It's for a cutter, it's huge. Conducted ensure and provided medical care for over 5,000 South Vietnamese civilians in the 70s. Oh, gee, they went and put the big Doppler dome on top of there.
Oh yeah.
Made unnecessary by weather satellites, Taney closed out the hotel weather satellite of there, ending 4 decades of Coast Guard participation in this vital duty. That's funny, even when it was a weather ship, still had a bunch of mortars and some 50 cals and the big 5-inch gun on the front end. Oh, I know. This thing seized. You imagine this thing with all this firepower just bearing down on your little raft with a bunch of coke in it. It's just like.
Still kept one of its 5-inch guns.
That's what I mean. Is it's just kind of like surrender, please. you're not going to be, you're not fighting us off.
Stop resisting.
Separating North and South Vietnam. Da Nang, July, Vietnam.
That's funny.
Cam Bay, Locale, and Mekong Delta area. Here the Taney is departing Pearl Harbor at the end of February 1970 en route home.
Operation Market
You can
Time.
see Waikiki and Diamond Head in the background.
Well, that's right. I mean, like that's your typical Vietnam era Coast Guard cutter. It's less than 100 feet long, so it's not even a third of the size of this ship.
It's not.
On patrol in the South China Sea.
Oh, the 173rd Airborne Brigade.
Hmm?
Yeah, they're known as they're airborne, but they've always been assigned to other units.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of like considered to be, they are airborne, but they're not. Oh, like they're kind of disowned or disliked by
Yep.
the other airborne divisions because they're just always loaned out to everyone else. They're like, oh, are you really airborne?
Right. No, well, the thing I remember from the 173rd is the that song, The 8th of November.
Yes. Yes.
This inspection is the day before arrival home. We're now in dress blue uniform.
That's funny.
Uniform for the San
So she was part of Squadron 3, and she was part of, let's see real fast. I think they had 3 or 4 of those smaller Coast Guard cutters basically with. So she had her own little, she's like the command ship of her own little squad of other little smaller boats. Yeah, there you go. It's a,
Yeah. No. Basically, all of these others were just like owned by this ship.
on target, fire for effect. Wow, the draft of this ship is only 14 feet. And they can fire the big gun 9 miles. Great. Enemy vessel is destroyed. Ship placed around the truck, greater precision and firing underway. There's one of the shells this sucker's firing. You know what? That does actually explain. You know what? My folks picked up one of those shell casings. I figured that I thought it was a 5-inch shell, but I wasn't really sure that's what it is.
Well, now you know.
Leftover of his fire, you spent case is often a valuable bartering commodity and can be traded. Jeez. You got enough?
The answer is no. You never have enough.
And actually, funny enough, this ship, let me see real fast. I was going to say this ship either had either a patrol plane attached to it at one point or a helicopter. I forget which.
It looks like, I don't think it had a helicopter attached to it, but like you could
Like you could land it on the back end of it if you just needed to. I'm guessing.
Well, I don't think, no, you can't, but you can still airdrop supplies because it's enough space. So you can just say, okay, well, I got enough space in the back, just drop it wherever you can.
Medcap missions. This was the Vietnam era then. I said so they were taking care of the Vietnamese civilians. USPHS doctor aboard. The ship's helm wheel.
One of Taney's many missions was to interdict supplies being infiltrated to the Viet Cong. The boarding party consisted of designated Taney members.
Vietnam commemorative photograph. In the domain of the Golden Dragon.
Gunners Mate and 40 officers. Occasionally, there would also be Vietnamese naval.
The crewmen that crossed the international date line who had not previously done so underwent an elaborate initiation ritual into the domain of the Golden Dragon, after which they received their certificate. That's funny.